Welcome to the Solution of Real Estate podcast, where myself, Phil Sexton, and Jeff Seabach, we come together on a weekly basis to talk about ways that we are going to put the consumer first in the industry.
It's like they're being very
Sorry. And sometimes we're playing with Clubhouse during the intro, and that's just the way that it goes, right?
We're going on Clubhouse with it.
So today's topic is a big announcement, Jeff.
Huge announcement, Phil.
We're going to talk about the first ever National Association of Teams and Elite Performers, elite agents out there, how we can band together in order to make a difference in the industry.
Yes. I mean, what it is the reality is our industry has been under attack for quite some time. And we've been watching, we've been waiting. It's about 5 years now. We've been waiting for someone to demonstrate leadership on behalf of the players in the industry, Phil. Like, because, I'm a big basketball fan. Is that a secret?
I knew that.
You knew that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So as a big basketball fan, it's funny that the NBA has a players union. Okay. Right. So now,
and that's like all the NBA players are in the players union.
All the NBA players are in the players union. They all can be part of it. But the key is that you have to be in the NBA.
So it's kind of like NAR?
No. I think that what we're announcing today is this, because the NAR is all the people that play basketball in the world. Right. So all the because everybody can play basketball. My son played basketball in high school. And then if you get decent, you go to college to play basketball. And then you go to Europe to play, or G League. And then if you're the best of the best, right, if you're the elite players, you get to go to the NBA. Right. So they don't care what color, what religion, they don't care what your ethnic background is. They're free for anybody. So to us, it's kind of like we wanted to create a union, an alliance, a chance for us to band together, but we had to draw the line somewhere. Right. Like the line somewhere is because we're fighting for the ones that are the players is what the why.
So what is a player?
Right. So what is it? Carlos, like, how would you define, when you look at an agent, how do you define if you think that they're a great agent or not?
Volume.
Okay.
Volume.
Okay.
Nice.
So where is the volume? Like at how much volume? Good answer. Love your answer. How much volume?
4 million and up.
4 million.
Awesome. All right. So how about Eric? Eric, when you think of players in the industry, what is your criteria when you look on, like, who are the players in the industry? How much do they got to do is it by volume or is it by total amount of sales?
And I will say in Zoom, the unmute button, always good.
Eric?
Well, let's say while you're asking somebody a question, I figured this out, Jeff. When we're working with Zoom, you have to give them a heads up. Say, hey, Eric, if I see your mute button get turned off, then I'm going to ask you the question. That way you give them.
Okay.
Yeah,
see, you're better at this than I am. Okay, good deal.
All right, my answer is I think it's based on the number of transactions, because if you go based on just dollars, you can be in North Scottsdale or PV and it's not as difficult.
Fair.
One $4 million house.
All you have to do is 5 million. I mean, 5 transactions in a million in North Scottsdale and get that. But
So how many transactions? What's the line for the players?
I mean, I wish I could I'm just looking to try and do 10 to 20 because I've never passed 10. I mean, I've only done 5 in 1 year, but I've had battles are trying to convert leads. Now I have a Google specialist that helps me get a lot of leads. So now I'm working on that, trying to see what's going to convert with what I get before I start scaling out.
Okay, but you said 10,
I
Jeff.
don't want to get too many leads that I can't handle, because then I'm just burning through leads.
Agreed.
And then you
Right.
He
have
said
to have
10 to
an
20.
ISA, and then you have to have a buyer's agent to handle the extra volume of leads.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that
Well, I
number?
want to ask some other people. I'm
Okay,
trying, like,
okay.
we're trying to do this. We're trying to get the consensus of the elite agent. So it's great. Thank you for your feedback, Eric. Thank you for your Carlos. What about Connie? What does she think?
So I think it's both those things, but I also think that it's the way you treat your clients, make your clients come first. You know, money's going to follow if you treat your clients right.
True,
Yeah.
but in an effort, like I guess in the NBA, if like to use that analogy,
Yep.
if you're a good, you want to have good people on your team, but at the end of the day, if you're not doing the job at hand, right? Like in the NBA, it's scoring points or defending points.
No. I mean, to me, it's a lot of different criteria, but it's good to hear their feedback. We're trying to me, it's I like consumer satisfaction, but unfortunately, the current industry has not put we don't have. I mean, I would credit Zillow in this instance for at least putting something out there where they ask the consumer, independent of their brokerage, how good did that agent do? And that's kind of where we're going with this, is that we're trying to do a better job for consumers. We're trying to do an elite job.
So if I do the best job for consumers and I do 3 transactions a year, you're saying that even if you cross over the production threshold, if you do a crappy job for your consumers, then then you shouldn't technically be in the group.
No, I mean, yeah, that's not that is the intent as we're going on, is that we are looking for the elite performers in a group. So they got to do a certain amount of production, but they also have to do a great job for the consumer. Like we have to fight for top dollar for our sellers. We have to do, like, to me, it's, we need to actually raise the bar versus fill the bar, like our association's been focusing on, of just trying to print as many agents as they can. So
Beth Riebenstorf, how the heck are you? I'm gonna give you a chance to find the unmute button. It's been a while. Always good to see your name. I always will picture you at the bottom of your pool with a John Hall for sale sign in a wetsuit, and I apologize for that. How are you?
I'm good. I'm driving, but I'm good.
All right. So where do you think the players union? What are the criteria for the players union in our industry, the elite performers?
Well, I'm a firm believer in the power of and. It doesn't have to be an or. And I don't know what the number is, but I think it's a few things.
Yeah. Like what?
like what?
So I think it is production. And because since you're talking national, sales is not going to capture what you're trying to capture, which is how are we really impacting our clients?
No. We were talking about the players in the industry. So you have to get, it's the people that are getting time.
You have to do a certain volume. You have to do a certain volume to have an impact in your market. So if you're in California and your average price point is 2 million, or you're in Tennessee and your average price point is 150 grand, then I think we're talking about transaction volume. And then I also think that we're talking about, referability and the reputation, I think is what you were talking about.
Well, yeah, but the challenge is that in the current industry, there's no metrics for that. There's no, I mean, we originally were down the line of thinking that we should come out something that would, because what I said to my broker when we started coming out with this is, hey, why don't you, Mr. Brokerage, contact my consumer and ask them how good of a job I have done, right?
Yeah, because then they would have to put things into place on what if they said that you were a bad agent,
right? Right,
and
but
they don't want to do that. They want more agents.
But this focus is trying to raise the level of agent in the industry. So, all right, so I'll kind of come out. So
I have a little bit of input on
Any other
that.
comment there, Beth? I know that you're driving.
No,
Besides-
my comment is I like that you're bringing the topic up. I'm not sure, to try and nail down the specifics. I'd like to ask, what is it that you see this group doing?
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Great. So, all right, let me tell you the metric that we're using. So to me, there's been a long saying in the industry that listers last. So to me, we're starting with the top 5%. And I don't know if it'll go lower than that, but basically in Maricopa County, there's 50,000 agents and 100,000 sales. I don't know that we may need all those agents, but if you list a minimum, or you and your team list a minimum of 10 houses each year, that puts you in the top 5% of the industry.
So you're going listing side transactions.
Well, because the thing is I think that, because I don't know any listing agents that started out, I'm only going to list houses. True or not true?
Yeah, no.
But I was a buyer's agent, and my first 8 transactions were buyer side. But can you really know the industry if you're not listing houses?
Fair.
I mean, and if you're not listing them in volume, because if you're doing, I mean, the idea was if you're not at least listing one house a month, right? Like to be an expert at something.
Do you have your pulse on the market?
Do you really have a pulse on the market? If you only do one listing, so at least if you do one listing a month, then we are gonna, it's gonna be part of it. But so that's the minimum to get into the National Association of Teams, because it's league elite of performers aligned for real domination.
And it's not just for teams, it's the National Association of Teams and Elite Agents.
Well, I just assume that if you're doing 20 transactions a year, that you're going to have help. So there's even though some people are like, I do 156 transactions by myself, there's somebody helping them.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so elite agents and teams, we just said teams as a differentiator. Because we wanted to, because we didn't want to say elite agents, right? But because it's elite agents, teams, indie brokerages, basically.
So we get the producers to come together.
Yes.
Right. And so why is now the time that we should bring the producers together?
Now is the time, because
and then I want to get to Beth's question, and that is, okay, great. Once we join together, what are we going to accomplish?
Right.
But first, why is now the time?
Well, why don't I give you 10 reasons, 10 reasons why? Okay. So number one, so our reputation is being ruined by an overabundance of marginal agents. The bar is being filled, not raised. In our state alone, in Arizona, there are more brokerage offices than listings, yet the brokerage offices aren't coming together to cure the problem of no supply. So it's clear that, okay, so number two, home sales has been relatively flat for 6 years, yet the real estate agent count has doubled.
Okay.
Right. So if there's not more work to be done, meaning more home sales, the question is do we need to keep adding more and more agents? It's in Arizona, as an instance, the most owned license in Arizona is the driver's license. The second owned license is a real estate license. So it's just a question. So number three, brokers focusing on recruiting versus improving the process for consumers.
That's how they get more profitable, right? In their mind, this whole system was set up where if I just recruit more agents, that's how I can improve my bottom line.
Yes.
So that's like that is the fuel of a lot of the things in our industry, is all powered by the number of subscribers or the number of members or the number of agents at your company. You then can become profitable or not. It's almost like your badge of honor is, how many agents do you have at your broker?
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's kind of broken that now, because the broker's client is the agent and then the agent's client is the consumer. But unfortunately, that has led to too many agents, is that the broker, like both parties should be trying to do a better job. Number four. So internet brands have made the move to control real estate utilizing the protective agreements of the past.
So like IDX.
Right. Like, so IDX, right. So now syndication, right? Okay. So now these companies are making money off of syndication, and they are using that money to now build vertical platforms in the industry that they get to, meaning they'll pick on your dad. He works for Open Door.
What are you picking on my dad for?
Because I love your dad. Okay. But he works for Open Door. Good for them. No, congratulations to Quicken. Congratulations to Open Door. Congratulations to Redfin. Congratulations to Zillow, right? Whatever it is, they've learned to live in the rules, but now they're building things that are going to destroy our business, right? They're now taking our business away from us, right?
Number
like
five,
iBuying
number five.
is iBuying putting money in anyone's pocket that we have online. Is anyone
No.
getting checks from iBuying? Any JB?
That looks like an express offers hand right there from David Marsh.
Okay, good deal.
Yep.
All right, good deal. All right.
So they're using it. So
Okay,
the
but
agents
is
that
David
said-
making the
agents that
most-
said yes are the ones that use it as a lead generator.
And we use it as a lead generator. We've
Got
made
it.
money off of
Got it.
iBuying.
Okay.
We have, but I'm just saying is that we don't, those in the audience do not own those companies is where I'm at,
Okay.
right? Like,
All
do not, what's that?
No, we got a question when you get.
Oh, okay.
What's the question?
Connie said, so are you saying if you only do buyers and not listings, you could not be in the group?
Ooh, good question. Good
There
question.
in the second iteration, like, because there's an elite agent that I know that did not 94. But I mean, the thing is the question is that if you did 30 buyers and you didn't have any listings, why not? Maybe you're not
Fair, she
performing,
might say
Connie, or
she doesn't focus
I
on
mean,
it.
right?
She
But
doesn't want to work that
okay,
side of the
but
business.
we get referrals. Like to me, we want agents.
Do you refer out your listings then, Connie? Oh, before you answer, I'm gonna give you a chance to find the unmute button, and I'll just delay until I see the little picture. The unmute
Refer
button.
them to me.
Connie, I see your lips moving, but I don't know if you got
Press the
yourself
space bar.
Unmuted.
Hold it down. Hold it down.
All
The
right,
window
she's
has to be
looking.
selected.
Okay.
The window has to be.
All right, we'll get back to your question. We'll get back to your answer. Sorry, we can't hear you.
But yeah, no, I mean, the
So
thing is
fair.
we have to draw the line somewhere. I mean, to me, it's focusing on the top 5%. So maybe if they did 20 buyers or more, then it would be okay. If they only did 4 listings, I'm not, the first brush was just, we're gonna listing agents.
All right.
But I mean,
So what's number
here's-
5 of
we're
why
just
we
look-
should join together now?
I mean, to me, the challenge was I wanted to, Connie, do it by volume, but then it's unfair to the agents that sell 30 houses at 100,000. I didn't want to be unfair to them. So we'll have to look at that. All right. Number 5, lawsuits demonstrate weakness in self-governance.
You mean the way that NAR is getting sued right now?
Yeah, only 5 times this year.
For
How many times have
Fair.
you been sued? Right? Like,
knock on wood, we don't talk about things like that. So, but knock on wood.
no,
I'm
but
clean.
I mean,
I'm clean.
but if you got 5 different more, we got leader, I mean, there's just, we got ethics problems. Like clearly we're not as a body of agents out there doing a great job of, I mean, we had an agent, I have to say this, dude, we had an agent that stole one of my listings and somehow they got, like we took it there, but because they've been an agent a long time, they did, what do you know, a 2-to-1 we lost, right? Like that was, it was clear cut.
Number 6.
Okay, but I mean,
Number 6.
we do not govern ourselves as realtors.
That
They
was
have,
number 5.
yeah. all right.
Number 6.
New agents make as much as experienced agents when clearly they're not offering the same level of service.
Wow.
Sorry, I said it out loud.
Number 7.
Yes. Internet brands benefit from the agreements that hurt us and our clients. Oh, Jeff, how can that be? Well, if the seller hires me to list their house, the seller believes that I'm going to get the feedback and I'm going to be talking to real buyers on the house. But now when you go to a site, they send
Like realtor.com.
right.
They end up on Off City. They talk to an agent that's never been to the house.
Right. So is that,
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't believe that that is helping my seller because now that buyer has a hard time. I mean, like,
Oh, that was number 8.
yeah, industry agreements have allowed the process to become cumbersome and costly, restricting moving, contributing to low supply.
I want to get through number 9 and number
Okay.
10 so that we can get to what are we going to do?
Okay.
What is the solution?
Number 9, internet brands may not be as consumer friendly as promoted. Sellers hire agents to speak to interested buyers, not someone that's unaware of the details. And number 10, the players, the elite agents and teams lack a voice. They lack a voice in the industry. And this is why we're coming out with Leopard. The problem was the National Association of Teams would make us gnats.
Oh, we don't want to be gnats.
We don't want to be gnats. We
No.
want to be strong because
Okay.
we're the elites. We're going to be Leopard, League Elite of Performers. aligned for real domination.
Superman had a league.
Right. They had to, I mean, that's kind of where we got it. Well, Superman did have a league. He had Batman and he had
What do they call it? The League of Justice?
Flash Gordon and Green Lantern. If you can tell, I love that era as a child. Like, unfortunately, they didn't have that cartoon on long enough for me. I loved the League of Justice. So we will be the League of Elite Performers. We'll be Leopard. So what do you think, Mindy?
You can't say their name.
Oh,
and then
sorry.
stop talking.
Help Mindy
You
Jones
gotta
out.
say,
Okay.
Hey, Mindy, I'm about to throw the mic to you. If you could find the unmute button, now you ask your question.
Okay.
She's
I
unmuted.
think it's amazing and I'm all in and I'm proud to be a part of a cohort of people that are trying to raise the industry standard and serve our clients at a higher level.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
love her.
Nice.
Yes. Yes. And I did not pay you, right?
Not a dime, but I'll take it. Like,
Okay, so what is the solution? The solution is our digs, right? So our digs is the elite version of simplifying real estate for the consumer, because we've created this whole elaborate process of selling a house when a consumer should be able to walk up to the house, text or get access to the house easily online, make an offer online. But because there's too many people involved, we've made it more complex.
What you're talking about, actually, when you say that, is actually what all 174 prop tech companies are trying to accomplish, right? Like, I just saw another notification from the past president of Zillow, who started a new company to simplify the real estate transaction because it's such a uncertain, archaic, and anxious time.
Right,
in
but they're
people's
not
lives.
calling us to do it. So we wanted to create a group and allow the elite agents not only to be a part of Leopard, but then also create a syndicate so that they can be owners of the company. So people like Mindy Jones, people like Heather Tawes, people like JB Sinnott. So you can then own part of our realtor version of title, mortgage, leads, home warranty, iBuying, a company that
Is working on simplifying the real estate transaction.
right. And then guess who we're using to come up with these ideas? The elite agents. Shouldn't the elite agents be the one? I mean, do we want to let these companies pilfer our knowledge little by little, extracting it so that they win and they own that company, and then we're just left holding the bag?
No.
Right? So we're starting with our dig. So what it is if you join us, you'll be able to use this platform. Guess what? I'm not going to charge you. I'm not going to charge you for the leads that you get on your listings. Guess who I'm at, Mindy? If you list a house, if you join Leopard and you list a house with our digs, the leads come directly to you because it's pre-MLS, because we're operating inside the rules that now I've said, oh, you can't market your listing, Jeff. Wait a minute, you're restricting my seller from marketing the listing? I don't think that was what my seller hired me to do. They hired, not until you put it in our software.
I'm
fired up, Phil. I'm fired up.
I'm going to slow it down for everybody in the room right about now. Let's reel in Mr. Seabar.
Okay, all right.
Good night. So now we're going to play some slow jams.
Okay.
Let's bring it back down. I want to know, you said a lot of words there. Our digs.
Our digs.
How do you spell that?
RDIGZ.com.
RDIGZ.com.
Right, you get it? Because we're realtors. It's our digs, which is our listings. Like our digs.
Okay. And so we are getting a group of the performers together so that we can work together to have a voice on what direction this industry goes. Because what the industry has done very well, and I don't know if it was technically by design or not, but they have separated all of us agents into brokerages. And our digs, what you're talking about, is going cross brokerage.
Right. Everybody stay where you are.
Stay where you are at your company, but we can join a group that goes across the different companies so that we can work together. Because historically, if I'm at broker J, then I got to go deal with broker J, and broker J is the only one. Broker J says, don't cross the line to brokerage B because they're governed by their rules. You got to stay in our silo.
Right.
And what we're saying is that's bogus.
And we're not violating that agreement.
We have to cross the lines. We have to work cross brokerage. Actually, we see some of the biggest internet brands in the space working cross brokerage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know that we're not even gonna stop for a commercial break today because our digs is the topic of the conversation.
So basically we will own our own.
I'm gonna end with
we will own our own competing platform against the industry greats, right? So just like Costco has anyone been to Costco, right? Has anyone bought the peanuts? Did you buy the peanuts with the M&Ms in them, but it's a Kirkland brand? Right, like the realtors.
Maybe we should say almonds.
Almonds. Okay, if you had almonds, right? No, like when you go to Costco, they have a choice. So why shouldn't the elite agents have a brand that competes on behalf? You know what I mean? So written by us elite agents who will offer leads, title, mortgage, home warranty.
Costco has Kirkland to compete with Frito-Lay. So realtors should have our digs to compete with all of the internet brands out there.
And then so we'll use Mindy Jones so that if she joined, then eventually she could get her leads and then she could get a piece of all her title business, all mortgage, all home warranty, iBuying.
No, that's not. In setting this up, you mean that if we have a syndicate that owns the company, then depending on the profit sharing that comes from it, because it's not a piece of all your title, that doesn't exist, right?
Correct.
The best
Thank you for cleaning it up. Yes.
Like this is obviously something that we are very concerned about making sure we're playing inside of the rules.
Correct.
In fact, when we broadcasted this podcast out, I had a gentleman, the Realtor of the Year from New Jersey, respond and say, how are you going to do that when it's against the New Jersey commissioner's rules? And I said, thank you for your feedback. I would love to know, send me the rule. And he said, teams aren't even, there's no such thing as a team in the law book. And I said, well, agreed. That's actually the same way that it is in Arizona. And that's why I was on the Department of Real Estate's committee they put together to figure out how they can draft an SPS to help teams govern themselves, because they don't exist, which is actually a part of the problem that we should look to fix. And he then said, well, it's frowned upon. Okay, well, frowned upon is different than being against the rule.
Because he's enjoying the confines of the agreements that are in place.
You're right. And what he he started his own brokerage. And so his comment was, well, if you're a team of that size, you should just start your own brokerage. Baloney.
But that's why we have 5,000 brokerages in Arizona, but who's helping the consumer? Right, exactly. Okay. So we are the players of this industry of real estate are silent. We have no voice because, I mean, George Lawton last year in Maricopa County did $1 billion
with a B,
and nobody's with a B, $1 billion in 1 year. I mean, it took us 8 years to do what he did in a year, make us feel sucky inside sometimes. But no, I'm just teasing.
Cry myself to sleep on my pillow.
But is he recognized? Like, he didn't make the S&P 200 list put out by Swan and Stephen Poll for the elite.
Stephen Swanepoel.
Yeah. Yeah, like the elite 200. His name's not even mentioned. The players have no voice.
He's just an agent.
Exactly. He needs a voice. Everybody needs. We need to collectively have our voice. Okay, so we control. Because the thing is we have no voice, but we are those that control the business. Without a collective voice, please join me in this fight to get our voice heard as we're frustrated. You can hear my frustration with the direction of current leadership.
You're very excited.
I know. I love this, right? We love our industry. We love our clients. The consumer deserves a better real estate experience, Phil.
Can I get an amen?
Amen, baby. Can we get someone else? Amen.
I'm about to ask for a collective amen. Amen. There it is. Yes.
We just can't let it go down this way.
Awesome. Yeah.
We need to rise together. We're creating the first cross-brokerage team alliance to join together to improve the sales process for the consumer so we can make it easier and less expensive. And the thing about realtors,
we're not just going to wait for somebody else to do it.
No, we're not. We waited. We've waited. So the challenge is, it's funny because when we talk to realtors, they're like, well, we need to make this much in commission. Actually, we can get less on commission if we are getting. If we weren't charged, if we were not.
Let's say that differently. Was it the owner of Redfin that said, if we're able to capture the revenue from title and mortgage and all of the services, then we don't need to charge a commission?
Right.
Well, where does that leave us in the room as the players?
And trust me, I'm an elite agent. I have no interest in going with, but commission compression is upon us. We
Yes.
feel it, right? But yeah, we have to pay agreements that charge us money for our leads. And I'm like, that sucks because now I'm getting it at every angle, right? Like I have, like if I got a piece of the entire pie, maybe I wouldn't care if the first piece was smaller because, and then what if when it was my listing, we double-sided it. So now I'm getting the whole piece instead of a half piece. And it's a little, you know, I mean,
You're talking about a lot of pieces now.
there's a lot of, but the
All right.
point is if we're getting a piece of
Okay.
every piece.
All right. I'm interested.
Okay, good. So the first step is formation. Thank you for being interested, Phil. I appreciate you coming aboard, right? So formation, this has begun 5 years ago. Our new alliance is a collective voice. So that's why we came out with LEOPARD, which is the National Association of Elite Teams and Agents. But we can't have the title to be that long because even freaking Clubhouse won't, like, they shorten the title, Jeff, right? Like,
Leopard.
but we don't want to be NATS, National Association of Teams. So we're LEOPARD, League Elite of Performers, Aligned for Real Domination. JB, do you like it?
It's a little long, but it works.
Okay.
Let's
Leopard.
just call it
I think we just need to, yeah, it's great. Thumbs up.
Woo! Yes, right. Okay.
Okay,
So
you're starting to understand what we're looking
Right.
for. Thanks, JB.
right. So second, then LEOPARD, those that actually sell the houses, the elite agents, teams, and small brokerages who help lots of buyers and sellers, regardless of color. We want everybody. If you are a player, we want it all. We don't care if you whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't care what race, we don't care what religion, like what all, I don't know all of them offhand right now, but if you list a lot of houses in bulk, come on, as long as you treat people well, right?
Yeah.
Like as long as you treat all equal, we would love to have you be our member. So we want people to pay attention to being nice to
How do I
people.
do that?
You can apply for membership. Membership is free for 30 days if you qualify. And then the anniversary will be the first day you pay, but you can even skip the free period if you want. If you're like, I'm all in, Jeff, right? So there's a $49 non-refundable application fee. So basically, if your team don't list 10 houses right now, I don't want to take your money and not give it back to you. But if you do, you can, it's applied toward the first month if accepted. If you've listed 10 houses, because we are going to verify this. We're going to ask for your team members. If you have a team, then you need team agreements. As long as you collectively qualify, you will have to produce the addresses and the dates that they were listed. I mean, we're trying to stick to the true performers in this industry, and the way we define it as those that do a lot of buying and selling. And we are going to put it into consideration, a limit. I liked Connie's feedback. See, we're open to, because I respect her. I respect, you know, I mean, we're looking for feedback from all of you if you're hearing things that you don't like. But to be a member of LEOPARD, please only apply if your team is listed and you have team agreement. So
Where do I go to apply?
RDIGS. So it's www.rdIGZ. Don't you love the beginning of the R and the end with the Z, right? .com, RDIGS, meaning our listing, our leads, / LEOPARD.
Rdigs.com/leopard.
/LEOPARD.
Okay. And there's a form there that you can fill out if you're interested. What we're trying to do right now is just gain let's talk to a few people and let's see how many are interested.
Right. So there's going to be a fee, right? So for the individual agent, if you meet these qualifications, it's $49 a month. Small teams, for up to 3 users, any licensed agent, is going to be $99 a month. Large teams, if you have 10 users on your team, it's $199 a month. And mega teams, it's $400 for unlimited users. You get a 15% discount if you just pay the whole number up front. If team members have elite agents, meaning an agent on your team does more than 10, lists more houses, they can also have their voice by paying the membership separately. They can pay the individual fee and join under the team, but they're always going to be under their team leader. So for indie groups, we're not going to just let them sign up the whole brokerage. It's going to be the performers within that group.
So I put the application in, I pay the $49, you approve my business, I'm now a member.
Yes.
What do I get?
You get lots of things. Oh, thank you for asking. I mean, you get I don't know where the list is.
The logo, first and foremost, is the leopard logo that we are branding right now, is so that we can have a designation that is different, or a indication that we do more business than just a normal.
Right, you're
realtor.
gonna put it on your website, the leopard logo, and it's gonna say National Association of Teams and only the elite agents, because my thought was, in the industry, it's not fair when I go to a listing appointment and the one I'll get used is, and I love Carol Williams and I love their fight, but it was an agent that was on there, and she said she was with the #1 brokerage in the world. She had never listed a house, and that consumer thought that she had never listed a house. The new agent.
She said she was with the #1 brokerage in the world.
Right. And then when the consumer asked me, I said, well, is her brokerage #1? And I said, yes. I said, but we've listed, and she's like, well, we're going with the #1 brokerage in the world. Right. To me, that just seemed like there should be, like, they believe that the brokers are educating their consumers how to market houses, but they're not.
They're educating their consumers on what? I'm sorry, they're educating their agents on what?
How to stay out of trouble, risk reduction, and basics. But they don't, I mean, when we went to our schooling, did we learn how to market houses? Did anyone out there learn to market houses at school?
No, they teach them how to market themselves.
Right. But the thing is, right.
How do I get more business?
Right.
Not how do I do a better job for my clients?
Right. So, okay. So back to the things that you're going to get. You get the use of the logo. You get membership access to our digs, our Kirkland-esque version of competing projects.
So
you get a right.
Hold on. I mean, I'm not going to let you breeze by our digs.
Okay. Go ahead.
I hear you.
I need water.
All right. Our digs, which we launched about 8 months ago in the App Store, in the Apple App Store, and it's funny, we see him come in on a different screen. Connie's in the office. We launched our digs on the Android Play Store and the Apple iTunes Store, App Store. And we have been testing it with our team members currently. And so what it is when MLS 8.0 took away the ability for agents to pre-market houses, we have developed a way that brings that back. And the way that it's done is you can see, if you go to our digs, you can check it out. What we have there is when you become a member of Leopard and you get access to our digs, we then come out and we do a training for you on how to talk about it in a listing appointment, the actual process of how to use it with your listings, just to make sure that all of the leads get back to you when that sign is up out front of your house.
The key thing about our digs is all the elite agents then also are going to be given tools inside the our dig application because it's off MLS supply comes available, right? So if Mindy thinks she's interested, right? When we list a house, her buyers will see and know when that house comes out, because they'll be watching it, because all of us are having this pre-coming soon.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So as long as you download it, but then we're building in features so that you can set up, if you're a member, you can set up advanced.
I'd like to ask this to the crowd, because one of the things that we've also discussed is a private chat arena, right? So that the members of a Leopard can communicate together. Where
do you want to communicate? Do you want it to be on Facebook? Do you want it to be on Slack? Do you like
a membership website?
Like would you go to a blog to talk, like an open, just a constant rolling blog to talk about issues? Where would you guys like to meet?
I'm watching
Discord server.
Yes. That's spoken like a true realtor there, JB.
What? What was
exactly?
What is
I have no idea.
What is the Discord server?
It's a private chat that's used for small groups that don't necessarily want all of their activity tracked by the outside world. The problem with like Facebook or Twitter or Reddit is that anybody can go in and look at the conversations. So Discord is intended only for small private groups.
Well,
clearly,
Discord,
thank JB.
yeah.
Wow,
and that's why we open it up to
JB. Yeah, DISCORD. Discord server. All right, Slack is private too.
Understand, Facebook can have private groups, but his point is, even with those private groups, it's still trackable by Big Brother.
Nice. All right,
correct.
Good. Love the feedback. Love the feedback. Okay, so you get to also, if you're part of Leopard, you get to be an an opportunity to be an owner in our digs through Leopard. It's called Leopard Syndicate. We're in the formation of it, and that's so that we have members that say, well, you know what, I'd like to invest 2,500. I'd like to invest 3,500. I'd like to invest 25,000 or 50,000. You have to be an accredited investor. You have to meet the profile, but then you can give money to, because the reality is if we don't need private money, if all the agents contributed money, we could start to generate money with our digs to build a pretty dynamic,
yes. And so there's an accredited investor portion of it that if you meet the criteria, then we can share the pro forma with you. The monies that we've already raised,
700. We've already raised 700,000 from our friends and family. I've kicked in a decent amount of money myself, and then the soon to be released syndicate angel fund for elite agents to invest in the company. Because I mean, I didn't get the call, to invest in these other things, and I want it open up to all the people in real estate that want to invest first, as long as they meet the criteria of the SEC for the syndicate. Which, so we'll get that, it'll be released, but that is as soon as it takes time to put that stuff together. So they then would have access to all our digs listings for their own listings, but also know and be in the loop because as new pre-MLS stuff, right? So we're going to let them list free for the first 3 listings and possibly more, just depending on how that rolls out. Our digs in the app, where only elite agents will be able to have their sellers, because the way it works with our digs is you sign a listing agreement and then the seller markets the house using our digs, but only the people that are part of the program will allow you can't go there independently and list your house. So it's legally pre-MLS marketing. Ba-da-ba. Yeah, we went to AR, we went to MLS. We're friends with the CEO of Armless. We did not want to break any rules. We even went on the CBOC team and tried it at first, and then we got warning, right? We made adjustments. Yes, exactly. So, and then soon access to our digs, title, mortgage, and more, right? And then also an invitation to the first ever national meeting in Vegas, because we're going to go to Inman Connect, but we're going to have our own launch of, get it.
Thank you guys.
Questions, feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
If there are none, we can wrap it up here. Yep, go ahead.
Connie originally asked, is our digs only for Arizona, or can I use it in California as well? Then she went on the website and found out the answer, but I don't know. If you
Great question. Yeah. So, like all good companies, like all good real estate disruptors, we're starting in Phoenix, Arizona. So it is just here in this marketplace right now, but obviously we need traction here now. Once we get traction here, then we're going to expand it to Southern California. We're looking at West Coast first. Sorry, Carlos, coming to Texas soon.
Okay, so
but it's too cold there right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to stay where, if you look wherever the weather map is blue right now, we're trying to stay away from.
Okay, so let's go through the basic bylaws unless we have a question. Okay, so the basic bylaws until we get consensus across America. First bylaw, I'm currently licensed real estate agent.
You have to be a licensed real estate
agent.
Right.
Second, I or my team or group leader lists 10 houses in the past 12 months, verify or removed. 3, we put the consumer first, our client. We are doing this to simplify the home buying and selling process because it's just way too clouded with they've made it a nothing industry to get into and everybody wants a piece of it, right? So number 4, we vow to make it easier and less expensive to move. And number 5, we welcome all race, religion, gender,
familial status, all of them.
All of them, yes. So we just want to put and I don't mean to insult you if I didn't say your name, but the point is we're putting the client first. As long as you put the client first, we don't care what you look like. We don't care, right?
If you're interested, go to ourdigs.com/leopard. Let us know. ourdigs.com/leopard. Thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you. Happy Thursday.